Plymouth. Nice to be here. I'm very excited to be here. I've had a little tour around your campus already, and it's just really rad. It's just got lots going on, and everyone looks busy and excited and just doing stuff. So it's really, really exciting to be here. So what I want to do over the next hour is talk in your faces, and I want to share my perspective as a individual working in the design, animation, film, creative industry. And I want to show you a few projects that I've been working on recently and dissect those and kind of share a few lessons that I've learnt throughout the past year or two, and see if that's some little nuggets of information that you guys can take with you and hopefully is useful to you guys as well. So I should properly introduce myself. Hello, my name is Gavin Strange. I go by the name of JamFactory on the internet. I live and work in beautiful Bristol in the southwest, just a couple of hours away. I live there with my wonderful wife, Jane, who's a jewellery designer and maker. We live there with our beautiful rescue greyhound, Peggy. But most importantly, we share the house with our beautiful baby boy, Sullivan, who has an inexplicable amount of hair. He didn't get it from me. It is still a mystery, I assure you. He's had 3 haircuts and he's only 9 months old. So he's a medical marvel and I love his tiny little face. So what I do as a job, by day, I am a senior designer for Aardman Animations. And Aardman Animations is a creative animation film studio based in Bristol. It celebrated its 40th year last year, and it is just a really special, magical place. When people say, what's it like to work at Aardman, it is whatever you think it is in your brain. It's exciting, it's different, it's full of warmth and excitement. And what I absolutely love about that place is all it's ever wanted to do is make things that delight people. That's it. It makes characters and worlds and films and stuff that is put on this earth to just literally make people smile, make them feel something. I think that's incredibly, incredibly exciting, and I feel super privileged to be a part of that family. I started as a senior designer for the interactive arm, and that is my general role. So on a day-to-day basis, I design games and apps and interactive sites, most recently a lot of virtual reality. Basically, I used to sort of say taking plasticines into pixels, taking the love and the warmth and the characters and all of the stuff that Aardman is known for and taking it into the digital space. That's also a bit of a double-edged sword as well, because we make stuff for Aardman's own characters, so Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the sheep, feature films like The Pirates. So we make stuff for what we all do as a company, but then also we're a third-party design studio that makes work for other people. So we work with the BBC a lot, we work with Cartoon Network a lot, we work with museums and different government bodies. We basically apply the same principles of making nice stuff that has heart and character and warmth and soul and putting it out there for different people. So for me, that's super interesting. I always get to do different things, but that's kind of only where it just begins really, because over the years, and this is what the whole talk about really is we're not just defined by our labels as to that's what my job title is. That is what I get paid for, and that is what my profession is, and that is what I do best. But over the years and in my own time, I've developed lots of other side projects and interesting facets to myself that I've managed to develop more and more and more, and use them alongside my day job. So I brought in doing motion graphics or doing graphic design, typography, illustration, and bringing that into my day job. So it's been a really, really exciting time to take all this stuff that excites me in my own time and then bring it into the day job and seeing where that can lead as well. Because here's the thing, you don't just stop being creative at 5, 6 o'clock. You know, whatever time you're leaving here, it's not like, cool, I'm off the clock, job done, ideas out of my head. That's not true at all, right? Who we are as creative individuals is we're always having ideas. We're always just going off in different ways. And sometimes that is so difficult to manage because you can't make sense of who you are and what you are doing and what you want to do. So what I want to share with you today is some sort of tips and some tools that I've developed that have worked for me to try and get to tackle that stuff and to make sense of getting a creative career and being part of the real world, getting a job, doing what you love, but also encouraging those different avenues and different experimentations that might lead you on a different career path or a personal path wherever you are in life. I'm not just talking about where you guys are at now. I'm talking however old or young you might be. It's an ever-changing process. So because I don't stop being creative and having silly ideas at 5, 6 o'clock, I created an alter ego, which is where the name JamFactory comes from, that I would create and make stuff in my own time and put it out there into the world. So at night, I go under the name of JamFactory, and I'm a designer, director, and just I pursue as many passion projects as I can. And this takes the form of all sorts of stuff, because I was originally sort of started as a graphic designer, and it's important to say my path is my path, and it worked for me. But I didn't go to university. I did 2 years BTEC National Diploma in graphic design in Leicester, where I was born. And back then, so I was 16 years old, I was terrible. And it was a running joke that later on, you know, obviously I am a professional now and I know how to do my job, of course. But, you know, back then, when you look at my work, it was awful. And it was awful because it was neither truly terrible, neither was it truly brilliant. I was just mediocre. And so I didn't really know what to do with myself. I never really had any expectations because nothing was ever expected of me. So what that did on the plus side is I gave myself a really low bar. Really low, really, really low. And so what that meant was as soon as I would go home from college, and maybe I'd have a bit of a bad day because I just simply wasn't that great, I would still try stuff because I wanted to get better. But because it was just me on my own trying to learn and to get better, you know, and I'd set that bar so low, when I would make a project for myself, I was really stoked. I was really pleased. I was really proud that I'd managed to make something that, you know, people had said, well, you're just not very good, dude. You know, it gave me a confidence to do more, to try harder, to be better. And basically that was what kick-started sort of my career, because as a 16-year-old that was told you're just, you know, I wanted to prove people wrong. I wanted to prove myself wrong. So that then led me to getting better, to doing more and more things, and actually just going to town on personal projects. So graphic design, illustration, photography, toy design, character design, clothing design, filmmaking, sculpture, everything and anything. I kind of don't believe that we should be controlled or labelled into a box, especially in our own time. This is the thing. There's two things between what your job title says, and that is you go to work, you do it, you that's who you are, but then you're still you as an individual. So what do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And it's not like you have to make this decision now as well. This will constantly change and chop depending on what you want to do. But it's important to wet your beak in all of these things and to just try them. You know, you might think, God, I just want to be a sculptor. And you try it and go, that's actually rubbish and I don't like it. And it's more just the enticing thing that you want to go towards. But at least you're going to try it, see what it's like, realise it's not for you. But then you might veer off another course, but take a little bit of what made you excited about that certain medium, and then you'll sort of merge it, and you're creating these building blocks for yourself that just give you confidence and give you your own unique voice, your own unique style. You know, you become confident in the stuff that you want to make. So that's what I do in the evenings, in the mornings. I like to pursue as many different things as I can, and that changes depending on, is it a personal project that's quite big that I'm working on with other people, or is it just a silly little idea? Sometimes I just do these things called one-nighters. You know, when you just have this dumb idea and you just write it down in your notebook and your sketchbook, and it's just totally silly and it only makes you laugh. I like to explore that, but just give myself one night. Just give yourself a really strict deadline of just, okay, I'm only going to indulge this for one evening. And it might be silly and it might not go anywhere, but at least you have made a piece of work. You've created something and put it out into the world. Just for one evening. What's that? A few hours? A couple of episodes of Game of Thrones. It's like, it's not much at all, but you get something out of it. You have learned some more. Even if you're doing something you've done 1,000,000 times, you're going to do it 1,000,001 times and you're going to get better. So I'm a real sort of proponent and fan of just trying all these different things. I'm also an author. I say author because I've only written one book, and that's kind of like me just like stitching myself up once with a plaster and saying I'm a doctor. So I don't really know if I can truly call myself an author, but I wrote a book, so I'm sticking with it. And the book is about the things that I'm sort of saying to you now. It's about kind of being your best self, finding what works for you. I think this is really important. I don't want to stand up here and just say, this is how you do things, this is how you have a creative, successful career, because this works for me, and I'm incredibly happy and privileged and fortunate and proud of what I do. I'm really, really happy. This might sound like absolute hell to some of you, and that's absolutely fine, because you are you. It's about finding your own path. And so I'm trying to form sentences, form ideas that can be just given to different people, and then they will interpret that how they want and go forwards. And that's what the book is about, basically. Finding a way, make a living, be your best self. And it just so happens there's copies for sale outside. Isn't that fortunate? I've just bought a house, so please just buy loads of copies, because it's really expensive. But in all seriousness, that was an absolute pleasure to write. I could do a whole talk on the process of writing a book, because as someone, my English teacher just told me that, you're okay. Never in a million years would I consider that I could have ever written anything. But again, through trying things in my own time, through building up my own confidence, through making the work and then being able to share it with people, that gave other people the confidence in me to go, okay, cool, this dude can write a book. Because it was a total chance. I went to a thing called the Do Lectures, which I highly recommend you check out. If you just search the Do Lectures, it's full of really beautiful, inspiring, insightful talks. A lot like TED, but in a very relaxed fashion. The whole idea is getting lots of people from all over the world together who are doers. That's really the underpinning thing. They just get people who do stuff, who make things happen. And they share their personal story. They also say, give the talk that you never give. Because they want a slightly more personal side to you. So I went to this wonderful, wonderful event, and it was life-changing. That term is bandied around an awful lot, but it was, because you were surrounded by all these different people from all walks of life doing things, despite not having the money or the time or the privileges or whatever. They were making things happen, and that was really exciting and a great privilege to be part of. But they also have a publishing imprint called the Do Book Company. And when I was leaving there, I was given a copy of the latest book called Do Purpose by David Hyatt, which I highly recommend. Again, you read, it's fantastic. And David Hyatt is the guy who started the Do Lectures. He also started the brand Howie's many years ago. He owns and runs Hyatt Denim, amongst many other things. He's a great person who enables you and sort of inspires you to think, well, maybe I can do it. And I read his book cover to cover in one sitting. I was so excited. But the way the book was written was a lot like how I like to formulate these talks. I saw it's in a correlation. I thought, well, maybe I could write a book. Never said that word out loud to anyone ever in my life. Maybe I could write a book. Flicked to the back, saw that there was an email address, sent an email to the woman saying, hello, you don't know me, but I would love to write a book. Long story short, she said yes, which was awesome. I said that I was at the Do Lectures, but we never met. Sent a mad rambling email to her, because I originally wanted the book to be called Do Everything, because I get excited on everything. And she was like, I like your enthusiasm. That might be a little hard to place in the book aisle. If you have a book that says Do Everything, where does that sit? So she was an amazing person to work with, and she became the brilliant publisher and editor, and basically took all of these ideas and formulated them into a flowing piece of work. So that's just an example of having energy, having passion, but having the work to back it up, that you never know where that's going to take you. This is something that my mum knows. When I say, "Hey, mum, I'm doing some in-game UI graphics for a VR interactive installation." If I say, I wrote a book, I know books. So, it's really nice to have those markers, those things that people can hold on to. And there's something very special about that, because books will exist forever. That's really nice. So, you just never know where this stuff is going to take you. Even sort of pursuing things that sometimes scare you a little bit. So, a friend of mine called Ricky has a TV show for CBBC called Art Ninja, which is a kids show, and it's about him being creative, making things, doing things, but also encouraging kids to be a part of this. And when they were making the first one, they wanted to get his real friends involved in it the original idea was to make art and to be a part of that creative thing. 4 seasons later, we're still part of it. We do very little art. All we do is are very silly and ended up making a sort of bizarre sitcom. So never in a million years would I think that we're on telly. It is a running joke as well that our friends at work are like, how are you idiots on national television? Don't know. Acting. I'm a very good actor, I assure you. Best bit is that I don't know why you're laughing. Your license fee pays for that, so. But I love these experiences. It's mad. But then 4 years in, we're on it and we're tight, and we turn up on set going, "Hi Jeff," the director. "Hi Jeff. So what sequence are we on? I've got my script. Who is this person?" The first year we were just like, where do you want us? But it's just really nice to see that change in yourself when you just throw yourself into it and just seeing where it can take you. And then, as well as that, I run an online design store with my wife, Jane, and we just make and sell stuff. Now, I really hate it in talks when you talk about sort of commercial stuff, and then I don't want to talk about it because I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's not like I want you to go to the website or anything. It's just, I don't want to bang on about it. Don't go to any URL that you might see on the screen and spend all your student loans. I'm not encouraging that at all. But anyway, but the point is, right, I want to do all the things that excite me. I really, really do, because why not? This is who we are as creative people. We're enabled to do this. This is a wonderful privilege that we're all here. We're all here in this mad building full of amazing tools, full of amazing people, and this is our life's work, right? This is what we're doing. We're just making stuff happen. How exciting is that? So I never ever want to squander that. I want to always remember that, no matter how many years I've been doing this. So I just kind of really hold on to that dear, and would encourage the same for you, because we could be doing real jobs. But we're not, we're here doing this. So I really just, try to remember that stuff. Because here's the thing, right? Like, life is too short. Have you ever heard of a vacuum metastability event? This is terrifying. At any given point, at any time, all matter in the universe can reset. Everything, in an instant. Everything deletes. That's really scary. I read that on Wikipedia and just freaked out. It's like, what? I just better get on with something then. Literally at any time, everything just goes boop. And everything we've ever done, known, loved, lost, gone. So I like to keep that in here, just at the forefront, just to, when I'm sort of scrolling on Instagram for the 800th time, just checking if I've had a like, I just go, the universe could reset, get cracking. I think you have to use any and all tools to make things happen. And this is really important to me. I'm trying to brand myself as a realistic idealist or an idealistic realist, because I think you need both, especially as a creative. I like to use that idealistic side of me to just float around like this and go, hey guys, just do what you love. Everything's amazing. Isn't it fantastic? It's really easy to say that, because do what you love is kind of a hollow statement. It's not practical, right? I say that to you. What does it mean? But actually, then if you bring in the realistic side of you, well, then you've got to figure out a way to make these things happen. You've got to create systems, create workflows, create networks, work with people to make these mad idealistic things a reality. And I think there's a few different ways that manifests itself. So when I was earlier saying that my job title is Senior Interactive Designer, so it's all well and good just saying I'm a generalist. Hey, I love making photography and art and sculpture and film. That's great. You want that. You want that idealistic, let's make everything. But in terms of the real world, you need what's on your business card. What is at the top of your CV when you're applying for a job? What box do people fit you in? Because that's the real world. You kind of want to be taken by people, because if you're trying to work with someone, a big company, an individual, or even starting your own thing, it's confusing when people don't know what you are. They don't know how to label you. And in this increasingly mad, busy world, they need to put you in a box. You need to have a label. So you've got to be realistic and decide what your strength is, what makes you most exciting, or maybe you don't. Maybe you pick a skill that doesn't make you super excited, but you're damn good at it, and that's what you do as a day job. And then you save your mad energy for something else. It's totally different for other people. I'm really lucky that I adore being an interactive designer. I really love the challenges. I just love everything else as well. So I realised that that's kind of a way that things need to work for me. But I think it is really important, because, I don't just want to throw empty statements at you. And so another way that I think is practical is time. Making time. This is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Everyone has got 24 hours. Everyone in the past has had 24 hours. Everyone in the future has had 24 hours. No one will ever have any more. No one will ever have any less. Beyonce, Mozart, they all have the same amount of time as you and me. I think that's really exciting. I think that's amazing because we ain't got no excuses. You know, you've got to put in the hours. You've got to make the time happen for you. But it's not about working harder. I think it's about working smarter, because what you make in 3 hours might be the same as it takes someone 3 weeks. So it's not a badge of honor saying I've worked 23 and a half hours and slept for 30 minutes, because that ain't going to win you no prizes, because you'll be dead by 25, and that's not very good, is it? You're not really done that much. So actually it's about finding the balance that works for you, working smarter. And when I say work, I keep saying the word work, but please don't equate work to drudgery. I think there's a real negative connotation around the word work. It's like it's laborious, but it's just a word. You know, what we mean is creating something out of nothing, presenting it to the world and having an output. That's really, really exciting. So just trying to find the time to make things. So what I did was I needed to find a way to be smarter with my time. Because recently when we had Sullivan, our little baby boy, things changed. I used to basically go to work. I would get up around 7, walk our dog, go to work 9:30 till 6. At lunchtime, I'd maybe do a little bit of work. Then at home, come home, hang out with my wife, watch half an hour of TV, because it's important not to get sucked in with Netflix. It's pesky, because you'll lose 2-3 hours and your night's gone. So be quite strict with time, eat some dinner, hang out, and then it's time for round 2. So around 9 o'clock till maybe 11 midnight, I will work on my own stuff. Just during the week, then at the weekends, I wouldn't work on anything. And that worked for me. That was really exciting, and it just happened to be, you know, positive for me. But then when baby came along, that is not going to happen, because everything changed. So our timings all changed. So what we did was, well, I still want to be as creative. I still want to make as much stuff. I still want to be a good husband, and I want to be a great dad. So how am I going to make all this stuff work? I need to sacrifice something. If you split your time into a circle and cut it into 24 sections, I call it the time circle. I'm sure there's something better. I'm sure there's something more scientific, but I'm simple and I can cut circles into shapes. I get it. So this works for me. So I simply divided it up and plotted where I want to spend the time. So if I want to make stuff, well, I can't do it in the evenings because I want to be a dad and I want to hang out with my new family. So, okay, well, I'll just get up early. And that sucks sometimes. Getting up at 5 a.m. is tough. But, you know, that's a sacrifice. And what that means is I get to make stuff. I get a solid 3 hours. What it also means is I'm really focused, because I have to get ready to go to work at 8 a.m. I have to. Like, I can't be late for that. And I don't want to be late for that. So, you know, that is a proper nugget of time that I don't want to waste. And then I have family time between 8 and 9, and then I go to work, and then that's my day job time, which I love. And then I try to fit in a bit more personal projects if I can on a lunch break, then go back to work, and then do more day job stuff, then back in family time, and then it's time for a little bit of sleeping. But this already is changing. Sometimes on a Wednesday I go and do things after work, so that shifts my time around. So I sort of have to do less work and do a little bit of hobbies and move stuff around. But then already this week, in the past few weeks, my baby's been poorly, so he's not been sleeping through the night. So that's totally changed my circle, and it sort of stresses me out and upsets me, because I'm not creating as much. But you just have to adapt. You have to be flexible, because it's, you know, this stuff is difficult. It's the realistic side of this. Finding the energy to get up early or to work late or to power through lunchtime is tough. It's really tough. I'm not gonna lie. That is the realistic side. But then jump to the idealistic side, and it's not real work, is it? It's not odd. It's just making stuff. So, you know, it's again trying to balance this thing. You know, it's almost like the duality in your own brain of talking yourself out of something, going, well, I'm tired and it's hard and I'm frustrated and I haven't got any ideas, and then go, well, it's just a picture. You know, just use whatever you can. Use any tools you can. Trick yourself all the time. This is it. This is just a game in your own mind, because no one else cares how you make the stuff. You know, say you've got an online portfolio. They don't care when, how, or why you did it. No one cares. No one cares but you. It's about what they're looking at, what you've done, how, you know, what it makes them feel. So you just got to find any way you can to make this stuff possible. But anyway, I don't think I've ever talked so long uninterrupted for such a long time. This talk is actually about you. I know it's me banging on about it, but actually this is about you guys. It's about you finding your rhythm and your patterns and your visions and your weirdness being you. This is kind of what I'm learning. I'm 35 now, and I feel like I'm only just switching on to this. I'm discovering actually how much energy and confidence it requires to be happy in who you are as an individual, and that you might make and do things differently to other people, and that's okay. That should be celebrated, not derided. So, you know, this is hopefully you guys taking away something that is you know, fundamentally about you. And there's this lovely quote by Jim Carrey, the actor. And I highly recommend you search out this film. It's called I Needed Colour. Really short film on Vimeo. And it's about him as a painter. I never knew Jim Carrey was a painter. And it's a beautiful short film, just talking about he's using art as therapy, really. And I needed colour. And it's just lovely, and it's inspirational, and it's interesting. But in that film, he says, people who are different have a shot at being original. I really like that. I really, really like that. I don't like this GIF. That's weird. I don't actually understand. Is it CG? Is it real? Is it puppets? Don't like it. That's better. I prefer that, even though that's still quite creepy. But even that, I would like to say, the idealistic view of, hey guys, we're all just got to be original. It's really hard to be original. It's really, really, really hard to have original ideas. Everything you look at, and everyone here, I'm sure, has had it. You've just made something really lovely, and they come along and go, oh yeah, it reminds me of that. Yeah, safe. You know, and that's just natural. This happens, and it will happen forever, because nothing is original. So don't try and use all your energy to be original. Try and make something honest to you guys. I would say that's more valuable, to be more honest than original, because you'll just be chasing your own tail forever. And then someone else will come around and go, oh no, it's not that actually. It reminds me of this. You know, so don't do it. Don't do it yourselves. Again, it's a personal battle. So make things that are honest to you. So I just want to share a few projects and just how they came about differently, because I always think that's quite interesting. You know, you never know how a project's going to come about. So I ended up making a music video for a rapper in America called POS, and he had a new album out, and this was one of the early tracks called Born a Snake. And I'm a massive fan of this dude. He's an indie rapper from Minneapolis. He's part of a crew called Doomtree. And long story short, we have a mutual friend who lives in London and knows these guys. And I was a huge fan. And so whenever they would play in Bristol, we'd hang out. And then ended up they would always come and stay at my house, which is quite weird to have one of my favourite rappers just on the floor of my tiny little flat in Bristol. But he loves Wallace and Gromit as well, which is amazing. So I took him to this lovely little Greasy Spoon cafe, and I just prompted him to do a little Wallace impression, which is lovely. I think I did show it to Nick Park, the creator of Wallace and Gromit, when he did it a few years ago, and Nick was definitely like, don't know who that rapper is. I don't know how down Nick is with rappers, but I don't know if it's his jam. But I would just make stuff because I wanted to make stuff inspired by these guys. So the different artists of the Doomtree Collective, I would just make posters and graphics. No one asked me to. I just liked it. You know, when you're just inspired by something, and music especially for me, always sparks something, the lyrics, the wordplay. So I would just make stuff for fun.
Anyway, stuff that rhymes well though.
So what happened a few years later, I did a title sequence for a creative festival in Barcelona called OFF, and I highly recommend you check that out as well. It's called OFFF. It's been going for 16, 17 years now. Wonderful creative festival, 3 days in hot Barcelona. Lots of people go, like 2,500 people. It's massive, it's inspiring, it'll blow your mind. So I recommend you go because it's awesome, and they do really good student tickets. But I got asked to make the title sequence. So every year they have a big title sequence announcing the names. And I just love rap. So I kind of wanted to make a weird animated rap video. And we were going to do it with motion graphics. But then I thought, you know, what would be really awesome if we actually had a rapper. So a massive long shot, I messaged POS, or Steph is his real name, saying, hey dude, how would you feel about rapping the names of 50 people you've never met over a beat that you've already made that you possibly give to me for free for no money whatsoever? Luckily, he said yes.
Stuff that rhymes well though.
that blew my mind. The second I got that WAV file through on WhatsApp going, dude, you know, what do you think? This is one of my favourite musicians saying the names of people he's never met for us, you know. That was a wonderful thing. So we had this great working relationship, and like everything, if you have a passion project, go as far as you can with it. Make it just totally immersive and mental, and let it spiral out of control and get loads of people involved and just see where it can land. So this film ended up in, we did it was a live action stop frame motion graphics rap video title sequence. We had stop frame sequences, we had motion graphics, we presented the film, I've got a laser pointer, professional. We presented on stage in Barcelona to explain how you made the thing. We gave away, because it was a rap video, we made fake money and threw that into the crowd. We even made a vinyl toy version of the little animated stop frame dude, because the Off Festival kindly funded it. We again sent an email going, do you know what would be awesome? If you made 3,000 little toys of our character. Yeah, cool, we'll do it. Sometimes I'm not always armed with a response, because I think people will be like, are you insane? But you know, but it's also worth saying that for every one yes, there's 99 no's all the time. But I don't share that stuff because it's boring. If my talk was, hey, look at all the things that didn't work, it's not going to be that great, is it? But it's important to say behind all of this stuff is 99 things that didn't work out. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. So that was the titles. And then when that finished, I said to Steph, like, dude, if I can ever repay the favour, you know, I'd love to make a music video for you, you know. Ooh, that would be amazing, to make a rap video. And he sent me a nice message going, oh yeah, cool, dude, that'd be great, you know, speak soon. And he was obviously just being very polite. Didn't think anything of it until, you know, a year or so later. I just got a late night WhatsApp go, hey dude, about ready for that video if you are. Oh. Oh dear. Oh Christ. So we started chatting, obviously, oh my God, so exciting. But this was November, and he said, you know, I'm looking to release January, February time, which was a tight turnaround. And I love tight turnarounds because it means get it done. You know, you've got a time frame, get it done. If you get given a year, it'll take you a year. If you get given 10 years, it'll take 10 years. Get given a week, it'll take a week. But January, February sound a bit iffy because that was when our baby boy was due to be born. Deadline's a little bit tricky, mate. Going to bring a new person into the world. Pretty sure that's quite intensive. I haven't done it yet. Pretty sure I'll be busy. Luckily, he was a super flexible guy, so he still said yes, we could make it. So I set up making concept art and wrote a treatment and a synopsis, and started just doing some sketches and trying to make it possible. But then again, like all these things that just get exciting, just see where that can lead. And because we didn't have access to the rapper because he lives in Minneapolis, well, I wanted to use masks. I wanted to not show that actually it wasn't Steph performing, it was just another individual. So then, you know, working with amazing people, I got to speak to my buddy up at Aardman, who said, hey, amazing model maker who's really busy on Nick Parker's latest feature film, do you want to help and make a weird, primitive, strange, snaky human mask? And he did. And so, you know, this is the power of just working with people better than you that can just bring things to life. And so then we had these wonderful props, and then I worked with a great photographer called Dan, who then started shooting beautiful things. So we just had a nice catalogue of all this stuff. I mean, just look at the detail and the texture. You know, the whole point of this was, the track was called Born a Snake, and the concept was that there was individual, this actual serpent creature wanted to be human. He was born a snake, but it wanted to be human. So it carves a really primitive human mask out of wood and bark and moss and bleh, and scary stuff. And I just like masks. Masks are weird. And then asked my young, slim friend, could she portray a rather large rapper who's also being a serpent snake and be covered in lots of different clothes that would be really hot under a set for free? And she said yes, which was wonderful. So she became this, and people still think that it's the rapper underneath the costume, and it's not. It's this lovely young lady called Wendy. But then you just get people more involved, and you just share your ideas and share your passions. And because there was no budget with this at all, again, it was a favour back for Steph, we had to decide somewhere to shoot. And so we just picked the lighting storeroom cupboard. It's literally a cupboard at Aardman. Clear all the stuff out, put a bit of smoke in, find some fake plants, bosh, there you go. It looks like a reptile enclosure. So, you know, you just got to find anything and everything that works for you, you know, and just get a pane of glass, get a second-hand pane of glass, spray some water on it. Looks a bit like a hot, misty enclosure. You know, you're just going to make things happen, however, with whatever you have or whatever you don't have. And then just have simple tricks. So, you know, we had 3 different lighting setups to make it feel more cinematic than it was. And luckily, Aardman has a huge UV cannon, which just fires UV light at things. Why? Don't know, but it's awesome. And then just stick some red gels and stuff, and suddenly you've got a whole different kind of thing. But then, you know, I kind of wanted to bring what I felt like my strength was at, and wanted it to be half live action, but half motion graphics as well. And I kind of wanted it to be all weird and occulty and symbol-y, and so just got locked in Illustrator and just started making patterns and things and just going to town and just sort of seeing where that stuff can go really, and having these scratchy different symbols. And I wanted this to be a full reflection of me. I wanted this to be my creation. So I really didn't shy away this time on putting my own sort of stamp on it, and ended up as director, producer, animator, designer. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, you know, and I kind of wanted all these titles because I wanted to learn. This was a passion project. This was in my own time. It was, the stakes were my stakes, as well as obviously I wanted to make something brilliant for Steph, the rapper, as a thank you. Luckily, he was happy because I was sharing with him at every stage. But, you know, I wanted to make something that really excited me. The video is only 2 minutes long, and I just wanted to share. I hope you like. There you go. So that's what 5 people in a cupboard in Bristol made. Oh, thanks. Ooh, thanks very much. But then you never know where this is going to lead you. So, a beautiful instant segue onto Shaun the Sheep, I think you'll agree. Seamless. And that came around in a totally different way, but actually by shouting and sharing the stuff that I was doing in terms of motion graphics and animation in my own time, making bigger and bigger projects, starting with the off titles, moving on to this, but then not being afraid to share that with my colleagues at work and just widely on the internet. I got the chance to do more of this stuff in the day job, but it started a little while back. So this was an animated stop frame dance film about Shaun the Sheep, and originally I got involved with it because someone said, didn't you used to dance? Am I hearing that right? Technically, yes. So when I was 12, I was a ballroom and Latin dancer, and you can tell this was a long time ago because I mean, there's wonderful things about this photograph. The composition, not quite sure what that is. The Calvin and Hobbes poster on the side. The fact that I was placed near some mugs and the curtains, that shows you how a long time ago this was. So, but I says yes, I did dance, and then in my own time now, it's just a hobby. I go to like street dance class with a friend. I'm terrible, really terrible. The oldest there, don't know what I'm doing, get really angry, but I love it. You know when you're just so bad, but you love something so much, you want to be good, but you're not. But I still love it. I still, you know, I like moving. I really enjoy it. So I said, yes, I'm a dancer. I think. How can I help? And basically, I just helped do a little bit of the choreography that Shaun would do in the animation because they needed reference for them to animate to, and they wanted real moves. But I says, well, I can help, but the real person you need to speak to is Wendy, my dance teacher, who is a proper professional dancer who I'm sure would love to help. Also, she's the same person I put in the suit for the Born a Snake video. So you start building these networks with people because you just love working with them because they're happy, friendly, nice people. So we made this reference video, but then from that, because we'd done that, I ended up being able to direct and edit the companion video that we made to teach kids the actual dance that Shaun was doing as a separate YouTube video. So that was lovely that spiraled off into another place, and I'm getting to do more, you know, live action video movie work alongside the graphic design, digital design, interactive design. But then, because I really like doing the motion graphics stuff, I was thought of when they had this stop frame animation just of Shaun dancing on a white cove, and then they thought, well, it needs a little bit more. So maybe Gav could have a little test, see if we can bring it to life with a bit of graphic design. So did a few little graphics tests, and then luckily they were really into that. And so we started working together more. So, you know, from being a dancer from the age of 10 to 19, and then going to street dance class, but then also being interested in rap, making a rap video with some motion graphics, sort of led to this. You know, I like connecting these dots, so never underestimate that, actually, that people will look at your path in a different way to you and start connecting those dots, and you might have some really lovely unexpected outcomes from it. But just be sure to share that work, to share that stuff, because it's all well and good. People aren't mind readers. They don't know what you're interested in. They don't know what you like. They don't know what you love to do. So they're only going to connect those dots if you're showing it to them. So, you know, I really encourage that stuff. And then it just goes into different unexpected places because we're part of the CBBC TV show that I showed you earlier, and Shaun the Sheep is shown on CBBC. They then wanted the different stars of the CBBC shows to do the dance that I'd made the tutorial video for that had helped animate. So, you know, you really, really never know where this stuff is gonna go. You know, all you can do at the time is just put your all into it. Because this is the thing, I think actually opportunities are born from passions. It's people want to work with people who are excited, who give a damn. Basically, you know, there's a lot of creative people, there's an awful lot of us, and, you know, so if there's 10 a penny, then, you know, people want to work with the best people, the excited people, the people who really want to give it everything. So actually, I think we all owe it to ourselves to just try and be positive, to try and shout about, you know, what really makes you excited, and do the best you can. But then it doesn't always work out swimmingly. Sometimes these opportunities are wonderful, and it's not easy. So I got the chance to start developing a new television show, and then so started out with simple character designs, and then just got to take it a little bit further, and then got the chance to work with fantastic model makers, and then turn that into 3D clay, which was really exciting. Then got the chance to take that back and then do some digital stuff and see where that's going. And all of a sudden I'm in a different medium. I've never combined these things before. I've always wanted to work with the model makers at Aardman because they're Aardman model makers, that's incredible. So I'm getting totally swept up in this wonderful world, seeing where things can go, developing it further, creating new characters, new ideas, working with storyboard artists, sketch artists, seeing where that can take you, and then going back to the model making team, seeing where this can go, and then all of a sudden, oh my days, I'm in this world where from a seed of an idea, we're creating characters, we're making things, and then we start making these big documents full of information and backstory, and developing the characters and the world, and making this really exciting thing, and it's getting really just, oh, you don't know where it's going to take you. We even make a little theme tune, oh my days, and then you just stops, and it doesn't go anywhere, and then the project dies. And the reason I wanted to show this stuff, because that was how excited I get. when that process was happening, oh my days, and just, what happens next? Where are we going to go? What's going to happen? But not everything is going to work out the way that you think it is. But I think that's incredibly important. If I could replay that project all over again, then I would do exactly the same, because it's so important to learn by things not going your way, whether it's a mistake yourself or whether it's just the situation didn't work out the way it is. I would still give 110% to all this stuff. I wouldn't want to be jaded. I wouldn't want to think, well, it's never going to go anywhere, so I'm going to half-ass it. No. You have to throw your all into everything to see what's going to happen. And I think it's really important, actually, just to take the hits, to take the punches, that's the only way we're going to get better, is to just be in training the whole time, just keep working out and getting hench. And I say hench, like, as about as hench as we creative people can be. We're not going to be like big team muscle, it's more like just we got to keep doing things. We've got to keep doing things over and over and over again to be stronger, to build up a better tolerance for it, to build up a better understanding. This is it. You've got to just keep doing stuff regardless whether the outcome is positive or negative, because that is really the only reason that we get better. Don't wait for just that one perfect opportunity. Just wait your whole life. You have one shot and then it misses, and then the world crumbles, and then that's rubbish. It's just keep making the work, keep doing the stuff, and then stuff will stick. And you can do that in totally different ways. So just for fun, I make a lot of graphics of my boy, just because I love him and I like making stuff, so I like combining them. Any excuse possible. I love Akira, so I just made a little thing that looks like Akira, or motion graphics, or I love the Wu-Tang as well, so I made it. It doesn't matter. It's just. I heard this track Method Man on the radio, and it's like METHOD man. So I just was rocking the music going SULLI van. I must go to the computer. Just make stuff, just act on impulse if you can. Make sure that your baby is responsibly given to someone else before you just plonk them on the side and just do stuff. But just inspiration can come from anywhere. Just indulge it, because we're all fortunate and lucky enough to have access to these ideas and silliness and just make stuff happen. Especially here, on my days, I kind of want to move here, because you've got everything, man. You've got like all the tools, all the techniques, all the people. It's really, really exciting. So, make the absolute most of that. Don't sleep on it at all, because this is the thing. A creative career is an endless zoom into Shrek's mouth. This is your life. If you hadn't already worked this out, this is who you all are. It's who I am. It's who we all are. This is it. It's an endless cycle. There isn't an end goal. All those people you look up to, and we all look up to, are doing things that just seem unobtainable, and you just can't even fathom it. They're still feeling the same. They're still unsure of whether they're good enough, whether they're worthy, what's going to happen next, what can they be making next. Everyone will always have this anxiety, this worry, but also this excitement. So, as long as you realise we're all just at different points in the cycle, then that's great. Don't worry about what others are doing. Just keep cracking on, keep doing more, keep making more, and get stuck. It's not being stuck in a loop. This is the loop. But with every time you go through it, you get stronger, you get better, you get a better understanding, and you become more confident in who you are. This is really important to say, because as well as it's just a wonderful, wonderful GIF, which is amazing, and I don't understand it, but I love it. It's, especially right now, I'm pretty sure the world's on fire. It's really easy with all the tools we've got access to be down about everything. So actually sort of be positive in every sense. When your mum used to tell you, if you've not got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Actually, yeah, in an age where it's all instant outrage and we're all quick to moan about someone else, the biggest offender is if you watch something or see something and you say, well, I could have done that. Yeah, but you didn't, did you? So, you can't say that. It's such an easy thing to say. It's as easy when people go, oh, that reminds me of that. Don't say that. It's such an off-the-hand comment of, oh, I could have made that. Yeah, but you didn't, And if you think you can do it better, go and do it better. It's like use that energy to make something rather than sort of standing around being negative. So I think, yeah, more than ever, we just need to hold on to that passion and positivity. It's just a lovely statement of, it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. I think It's just really nice. I like finding stuff where people say a nice sentiment better than I could ever say it. You know, and but it's true, man. We've kind of got to be beacons of positivity, because as well, the responsibility of what we can change as creatives as well. Some of the stuff I've seen you guys doing around here, you know, you have the chance, and you are affecting people's lives, and you can do that in a positive way. That is really powerful. For all the idealistic statements to say about, hey, we just make really fun stuff, at the same time, the realistic application of what you're all doing is you do have the chance to really help and be in touch with human beings. That's really powerful. Not everyone has the chance to do that. You can make your mark. You can have a legacy because of what you make and do affects other people. That's lovely. That's really, really important. It's just important to remember that you are your biggest barrier. Yeah, there'll be other hurdles in the way, but really, this is it. You will be your own worst enemy for the rest of time. You'll doubt yourself. You'll hate yourself. You'll want to be someone else. You'll wish you were somewhere else. You'll feel like giving up. And then you'll reset again, and everything will be great, and you'll have learned something new, and you'll have done something and surprised yourself. So just recognize that this is it. And when you're feeling down and you're feeling frustrated, that's okay. That's a natural part of this process. A couple of days ago, I was raging. I was so upset and frustrated because I felt like I've not made anything good in a while. What's the point? Who am I? And then I started cracking on with a project in my own time. I was like, oh no, it's all right. Because that's who we are. This is it. Some people deal with it in very different ways, I'm sure. And some people are just like, no, everything's cool. What are you talking about? You unstable? You know, it is different for everyone. But, you know, I think I'm pretty confident we all share those same doubts and worries. Because as well as you being your own biggest barrier, you are your own biggest catalyst as well. You can, you know, empower yourself to do more, make more, and again, see where you are in that cycle. And when you're feeling a little bit down, you know, recognize that it's just part of the cycle and it's just you being your own barrier. But then actually, you know, when you're feeling up and you're feeling confident, like, use all of that energy to carry on making and doing stuff. I want to leave you with a wonderful quote by Paula Scher, the legend of graphic design. You know, her career, you know, I think she's in her 60s now, and she's been making amazing work for 40 years. She's fantastic. If you haven't watched it, I'm pretty confident most of you will. This is a quote from a documentary series on Netflix called Abstract: The Art of Design. It is required watching. I insist you all watch it. It's wonderful. If you've already seen it, go and watch it again. You know, it's just a lovely profile of six or eight different creatives doing wonderful things, you know, a graphic designer, industrial designer, product designer, car designer, shoe designer. Super inspiring, wonderful, lovely. But what she says, and I think this is brilliant of someone who has been doing it for 40 years, is I'm driven by the hope that I haven't made my best work yet. And I hope that I can share that sentiment as well. She's wonderful. Thanks ever so much for your time.